Hello, my sewing friends. I'm Jen. This is the sewing room where all the magic happens. And today is my collab with the Fab Five, who are Andrea from Andrea Makes, Trish from Pinky's Farm, Adam from Adam Sews, and Carole from Sew Carole. And Carole was the one who picked the theme for this time. We do this about once a quarter and we each get a turn to pick a theme. And Carole's theme was music. So I had a little scrap of this and I thought, okay, that'll work. And it wasn't even the size of a fat quarter, really. And so I came up with a couple of things that I'm going to show you, and I'm also going to show you how I did them. So let me show you what they are first. I made two little Petit 4 baskets. And this is a free pattern, and it's from by Annie, and they're just little fabric baskets that hold things. So this one is this music print that I already had, and then I went to get glue for something else at Walmart, and I saw this one. This is just a fat quarter. So I am going to show you how to make both of these, and I'm going to show you how to make this teeny tiny little coin purse, which... yeah, I don't think I said the word fiddly so many times in my life as when I was making this. But this is just the cutest little thing. It's just a little coin purse. And I made this first, so I used my music fabric. But I want to tell you that I wouldn't have made this if not for my wonderful friend, Christine, from Christine Sews a Lot. I'm going to link her channel below. She does amazing stuff. Like, she's so comprehensive in the way that she'll teach you how to do something, probably because she's got a background in teaching. And so she had one of these little frames, and she said, let me send you the pattern and the link to Sew Sweetness, who is the author of the pattern for this. And so she sent me that. She sent me even the foam that went inside of it. I am so grateful to her for suggesting this. And what I neglected to mention as one of the things that you need for this project is the frame. And you can get those on Amazon. You can get them in different sizes. And the Sew Sweetness pattern has 2 sizes for this. And the pattern is free, I think. I downloaded and printed it. So you'll have to check out the tutorial for that. And you can watch how I did it. It's not really a tutorial, but yeah, so I've got 3 things for the music collab. So let me show you how I did them. Let's make this little coin purse. This is a pattern from Sew Sweetness, and you can find all of the things, the patterns and instructions in that linked below. And so for this, I need my little pattern. I need 2 pieces of fusible foam. And I need some interfacing. This is Shape Flex. It's made for wovens. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this at the same time I cut the pattern pieces for the fabric and lining. Now I'm using music notes. This is just a scrap that I had. You know what? I thought, yeah, that's got music notes on it. I can use that. So I'm going to just fold it up. Now, since I need 4 of these, 2 for the outside, 2 for the lining, I'm just going to go ahead and, fold it up. So then I have 2 pieces, and now I'm going to fold it this way so that I have 4 pieces, because I've got, let's see, layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how that is going to work. See if I can get that smoothed out. Okay, and I'm also going to put my interfacing under here so that I can cut it all at one time. Okay, let's double that up. Put this here right on top. I know I've got plenty enough. Okay, here is my little pattern. You can find that pattern on the website for Sew Sweetness. She's got printables. It's very easy to find that. And now I'm just going to cut this out. I know it's a lot of layers. If you're doing this with a rotary cutter, you might want to do less layers, but I'm just going to do them all at once. Also, if you wanted to lay this on the fold, you could do it that way. You would probably get a more symmetrical look because, I don't know, you just lose something in the, when you do it this way, but that's okay. This is not brain surgery. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, right, you know, no mistakes. That's kind of a joke for me. Okay. So there are my pattern pieces. The first thing I'm going to do is go over, here's my fusible foam. I'm going to go over and I'm going to fuse the interfacing to the lining, what will end up being the lining. So here's my fusible interfacing and here are my two lining pieces. So I'll go ahead and fuse those. And then I'll go ahead and fuse the fusible foam to my outside pieces like this. So let's go do that. Okay, I've got my foam fused on and I've got my interfacing fused on, and now apparently we're supposed to mark these little lines onto the interfacing side. This is going to get tricky, I have a feeling, because it's so small. Now, okay. Now I am supposed to go over and pin the exterior pieces together, right sides together, and I want to sew from the mark down to here, and then I want to go across the bottom. Okay, let's go do that. I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Actually, I should put my 1/4 inch foot on. Wouldn't that be smart? Yeah, I think I will do that. That is this one. Your sewing machine might come with accessory feet, and if they do, then I like to make use of them. So I know that the distance from my needle to the edge of this foot is 1/4 inch. And I can tell that because this lines up with this little 1/4 inch line. Okay. So I'm going to stitch from the red mark down to the corner. And go back a few stitches. Got my edges sewn from the mark to the edge and then all along the bottom. Now I am going to go in and I'm going to take these two corners and I'm going to pinch them together like this, matching the seam to the seam. Okay, now I'm going to go over and I'm going to stitch here and here. All done. All right, now I apparently am supposed to do the exact same thing for the lining. So I'll go over and I'll stitch once again from the mark down to the edge, and then and then across the bottom, and then I'll bring these two corners together and I will stitch those. All right, let's go over to the sewing machine and do that. Here are my two pieces. This is the inside, this is the outside. Okay, and little threads everywhere. Why not? Yes. Okay, turn this one out, right side out, right? Turn the exterior right side out. So I guess you're supposed to really push these corners out. Yeah. Alrighty, those are pretty pushed out. Looks like I need to put this inside this. Okay. Slip the exterior inside the lining. Okay. There we go. Okay, now let me get my wonder clips out. I don't really think I need these because it's so small. I can just do it with my hands. But we're supposed to start in the middle and sew to this edge. Oh my goodness, this is so fiddly. All right, it's looking like a coin purse. Let's go over and sew the top. Honestly, I think these wonder clips are going to be more trouble than they're worth. We'll see. Okay, I'm not going to back stitch because I'm just, oh gosh, I'm just going to follow this down. This is a mess, isn't it? I think definitely better to do the larger size purse because this is just a lot. So I'll start on the other side. All right, clips are coming off. Okay, done. We're good. I've got it all sewn all around. Okay. And here we are with this teeny tiny little coin purse. Make small clips 1/8 of an inch high into the curved edges. Okay. Okay. All right, now we just turn it inside out. Turn it right side out, I should say. And here's my lining. And I guess I'm supposed to go over there and close it. You can close it up by hand, I guess, or you can do it by machine. I'm definitely doing it by machine, not doing it by hand. Okay, so I'm just going to top stitch that opening closed. Done. Okay, you know, I have not pressed this at all. I probably should go over there and do it, but I haven't. So, all right, still trying to turn it right side out. Man, this is small. Tiny, teeny, tiny little coin purse. Okay. There we go. There we go. Alrighty, now it says top stitch this top edge, probably so it will easily fit into the frame. Well, that's exactly the right size. Look at that. Exactly the right size. Wow. I had my doubts about whether or not that would work. Okay. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to top stitch. This is what I'm going to make. This little petite for baskets. So this one was my first try, and I used some music note fabric that I had, and I didn't have enough for the lining, and I didn't want to do the whole thing out of the stripe. So I wanted you to be able to see the music notes in the bottom. So this was attempt number 1, and it turned out okay. This is a pattern by Annie. My friend Adam is a huge fan of these by Annie patterns, and so I thought, well, okay, I'll just give it a try. So it's not difficult. You just need something called flex foam, and this is one-sided fusible. I think it's Pellon. They call for by Annie's soft and stable cut basket stabilizer. So I'm just going to use the fusible. Now I have a 9-inch by 10-inch square here, and then I have a 10 by 10 here. This will be the lining, and this will be the outer side of the basket. So the first order of business is to go fuse the basket fabric to the foam. All done. Now I'm just going to square this up. I'm just going to do it this way. This is my preferred method of cutting things anyway. So there we go. We've got my square with my foam. Now I want to mark a line at 2 1/2. I'm going to use my other ruler. 2 1/2, 2 1/2 inches all the way around. And now stitch along all the marked lines. So I'll go over to the sewing machine and do that. I stitched all my lines. Now I have this going 10 inches this way and then 9 inches this way. And now we get to flip the page, yay. Okay, so on each side of the 9-inch sides, that's this one and this one, stitch a rectangle in the center side section, sewing it 1/4 of an inch away from the previous stitching lines. So I need to go over to the sewing machine and I need to stitch 1/4 of an inch away from here and here and here and here, and essentially I'm going to go around. And what's going to happen is I'm going to cut these pieces out. So I'm going to go over to the sewing machine now and I'm going to stitch that 1/4 of an inch on these 2 rectangles. So, you know, actually I'm just going to do that and that because that means it's going to go away. Okay, I've stitched my little squares here, and it's probably easier to see here, but now I'm going to cut out these rectangles. So I'm just going to go in here and cut these away. Okay, so I've cut out my rectangles right here, gone. Okay, now I need to fold this like this, bring my edges together, and since I made this other one, I have a place to put my clips, yay! Okay, so I'm just going to match up these edges, fold it in half, and I'm going to stitch here and here. So on the ends, just going to stitch down at 1/2 of an inch. So I'm going to do these 2 seams. Done. So I'm going to go over and press those seams open, and then we'll move on from there. Okay, I pressed my seams open, and look, the very first thing that happens is we go from this to this. It keeps wanting to do this, which is exactly what it should do. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to open it out, and then I'm going to sew this seam right here. So let me open this out and show you again. Okay, see how this is like this? Well, when you push these edges in like this, what happens is then you get a straight line going this way. See how that works? And then you've got this straight line here. So just fold it up and sew it. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and clip that just in the middle, and I'm going to clip it here, and I'm going to go over and sew this, but now this time I'm going to sew it at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I will go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on to lining. Well, look at that. We've almost got a basket. I think I'm supposed to turn this right side out and push out the corners. So that is what I am doing. Just pushing those corners. Now you can see that I've got stitching around here that shows if I want to go back later and just take that out, I can do that. So I might, I don't know. Does it involve using a seam ripper? I may not be inclined to do so. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to go on to the lining. Now, this does not call for any interfacing. I was surprised at that, but it doesn't, so we're not going to put any in there. Okay, so on the wrong side of the 10 by 10 inch basket lining, mark the lines as follows. Okay, we have more lines to mark. This time, mark horizontal lines from side to side, 3 1/4 down from the top and up from the bottom. So let's go 1, 2, 3 1/4. There we go. Where's my pen? There's my pen. So I'm going to mark that line. Same thing here. 3 1/4. 3 1/4. Okay, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. Vertical lines need to be 2 1/4. So 1, 2 1/4. There we go. So I'm going to mark those. There's 1, 2 1/4. Line it up. And there's the other one. says, being careful to cut out the center sections on each side, only those sections, cut on the lines to remove the rectangles on each side of the basket lining. So I want to remove them here and here. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the basket, which is bring the long 10-inch edges together. Now we're going to sew these two ends at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Side seams are stitched and pressed open. And now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the body of the basket, and that is to, okay, well, let's do it this way. You take this and we want to make it look like that. So you bring the short edges in. Short edges? I guess they are a little bit shorter. And that gives us two seams right here that need to be sewn. These need to be sewn at 1/4 inch, but there needs to be an opening left on one of them so that you can turn the whole thing inside out. So I'm going to mark myself some lines here, just so I know don't go past that. Leave this opening here. And I'm leaving it pretty big because this is foam and it's hard to wangle. So yeah. So I'll sew this, and those both get sewn at 1/4 inch. Done. Now my lining's all done. I did leave that opening right there. I'm going to go over and press this, and then we're going to put these two things together and make one of these. Okay, this is all pressed and ready to go. Now apparently we want to take this, because this is right sides out, so we want to take that and put it inside this so that right sides are together. So I'm just going to fit this down in here. Now I'm just going to clip the top, because what I'm going to do is sew all the way around. This is so simple. This is the simplest little project. And I love it because I was able to use fabric I already had for this one. And I picked this fabric up at Walmart. It's just a fat quarter. And as long as you have this flex foam or some kind of a foam on hand that's going to give you the stiffness so that the basket will hold its shape, you are set. You can use anything you want. And these are the cutest little things. They'll hold a lot of stuff, a lot of different kinds of things. So, okay, now I'm going to go over and I'm going to stitch all the way around the top at 1/4 inch away. Let me match up that seam right there. Get that matched up. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to turn it inside out, and it'll be like this. Okay, there we go. And now it's time to turn this inside out. With this, you have part of the lining that sticks up out of it. I'm pushing the corners down in as best as I can get them. Now I'm going to go over to the sewing machine, and where I've got this little opening, I'm going to go ahead and stitch that shut, and then I'm going to press everything. Just, you know, give it a press. Just lay it down and, you know, go over it a little bit. And then I will have a box. I will have a little petite basket. And there we have it. A little basket that I can put stuff in. It's kind of cute. Now there is stitching all along here, and I think I will probably go in and take that out because it's just basically basting. So I think I'm going to do that, but this is done. And you see how long that took. It was just really quick, really, really quick. Now you can see where I've stitched that opening shut. For some reason, this looks a little bit bigger than that one and a little less square, but that's, you know what, I'm fine with that. If you really want it to be square, then you can fuss around with it, but that is how I used up my musical instrument fabric. And I really, I seriously have this much left. of this fabric that I had. So it was a fun little project and went really quickly, and this is going to be great to just have here and there. I may not even use them in here. I may use them like on my nightstand or over where my jewelry is, but yeah, that's how you do it. So that's how I made 3 little cute things that are music themed. And let me also add in here, don't forget to subscribe to everybody's channel, but especially to this one, of course, and hit the like button. That's always helpful. I always add a little bit of Jesus to the end of my videos, and I'm going to do that now. So if that's not for you, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. If that is for you, I have Titus 3:7. He made us right in his sight, and he gave us confidence that we will inherit eternal life. Confidence and heaven is a blink from us. So isn't that good news? Don't forget to check out everybody's collab videos. I can't wait to see what they've made. I will see you next time, and thank you so much for watching.